The idea of investment is simple. Take something of value and put it to work in some way to increase its value over time. This is called conservation of capital. With investing, and this goes for any investment, you face risk versus reward, and rewards in investing correspond directly to the amount of risk you are willing to take. With real estate, you're gonna have to consider something called liquidity. Liquidity is essentially how fast you can turn your investment into cash. And it's important in real estate because real estate is considered illiquid. Putting your money into real estate means your money is going to be tied up for a while. Unlike stocks where you can sell your shares quickly, with real estate, typically a property needs to sell in order for you to get a return. Sometimes that can take a while. Even if you have a secure buyer and start the process right away, the minimum it's going to take is 4 to 6 weeks. There are two types of real estate investments: income and non-income properties. Non-income properties are homes you buy to live in and bank on the overall appreciation in the property itself as your means of making a profit. And then you have income properties. This is where the term cash flow comes into play. These properties include rentals, multifamily residentials, retail stores, and office buildings. With income properties, your benefits include cash produced by the property, appreciation, tax advantages, and leverageability. The term cash flow is a hip little term for the leftover money from the rent you have after subtracting your expenses. The idea with income properties is find something that makes more money than it costs to own each month. And whatever is left over is your cash flow. The formula for investing in real estate is truly as simple as it sounds. Effectively putting it into practice, on the other hand, takes a little skill and a good eye for finding deals. I'm going to give you the formula right now, and if you follow it and repeat the steps, you will make money, and the sky's the limit with how far you want to take it. The first part of the formula is to find the property. This is by far the hardest part. Look for off-market deals, undervalued for-sale homes, sellers willing to own or finance, short sales. There's a bunch of different ways to find deals, and I'll go into them in detail in another video, but essentially you want to find a property that is turnkey or needs little work to be rentable, and based off of your local market rents is projected to rent for more than the mortgage will be. That'll be your cash flow. Typically, the more work a property needs, the less you'll pay for it. And simple things like fixing trim and a fresh coat of paint go a long way. If you're able to do some of those things on your own and can spot the diamonds in the rough, the better your cash flow will be. So, buy a property, fix it to Section 8 standards. Those requirements can be found on the HUD website. And the reason we want to meet their standards is so we have a whole other pool of possible tenants with guaranteed rent. And because you don't want to be a slumlord renting out dilapidated properties. Nicer properties get more quality tenants and higher rents. The next part is to find a tenant. You can go to the Section 8 route and tenants will be assigned to your property. Section 8 has a long list of people waiting to find housing. They set their own rental amounts based on the amount of bedrooms in your property and the area it's in, but they're fair amounts. And the rent is guaranteed by the organization. Or, if you want to set your own rental amounts, find your own tenants. We've had success with Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Either way, you're gonna come across some bad apples, and you just need to be prepared for that. Get the tenant living in the property and paying rent every month, and then depending on how you finance the purchase of the home, look into getting some of your money back so that you can purchase another property. We like to pay cash for our rentals. Cash will give you more options and negotiating power when you're going to buy, and it makes the deal cleaner. But I know cash isn't an option for the beginner investor. So in that case, financing it will be perfectly fine as long as your mortgage is less than the rent you're charging and it cash flows. Then the next step is to sit back. Manage your property, or don't if the numbers allow you to hire a property management company, and watch the cash flow in. Not only are you making money every month, but you're letting someone else pay off your mortgage for a house that will eventually be in your name and paid off. Yes, there is more that goes into it, but the reality is that it's that simple. Find an undervalued property, fix it up a little, get a tenant in it, refinance if needed, get your money back out, and find another property to buy. You just do this over and over again. This is exactly how people build portfolios of hundreds of rentals, collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in cash flow. It all starts with the first one, then a second, then a fifth, then a 10th, then a 100th. Same formula repeated over and over. The first property is always the hardest and is the main reason not everyone is a real estate investor. But get that one out of the way, and each subsequent property will be easier and easier. The more properties you have, the more you can leverage them, and the easier it becomes to acquire more. The first 10 are going to take some time, but the following 90 will depend on how fast you can find them. A quick way to build a stack of rentals when you're a little later into the game is buying other investors' entire portfolios. An investor will be ready to retire, and he holds, say, 20 single-family homes, and he's ready to cash in. It's a hell of a lot faster and easier to sell the entire portfolio to one buyer like you, and boom, you now have 20 more doors. Buying single-family homes takes some time, but buying portfolios or entire complexes is how you get to thousands of rentals under your control. Rents and repeat. So you're probably thinking, if it's so easy and there's a simple formula to follow, why isn't everyone doing this? Especially because once you're established and have all the pieces in place, you can literally manage your portfolio by only a couple hours a week, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. And the answer is, they're not willing to put in the work, or they hate easy money. I'm telling you, if you've been sitting around trying to figure out how you're going to make enough money to allow you to travel and not check menu prices when you're out to eat, this is it. I'm not trying to sell you a course or get you to buy into some multi-level marketing hoopla. This is what I do. It's how I've made my living for the last 5 years, and it's how I plan on retiring in the next 10. There's a simple system, and I've worked out the kinks so you don't have to. I work one-on-one with investors to figure out exactly the type of properties they should be buying and help them set up their portfolios. Reach out if you've been considering diversifying and want to get into the real estate game. I can help you start the journey.